How easy is it for a stranger online to manipulate your aging parents? Could your kids be sharing just enough on social media to put your whole family at risk? Hey everyone, today we're going to hear from somebody with a wild and inspiring backstory, Dr. Feliks Kravets. He grew up back in the USSR, moved to the United States with his parents chasing freedom and opportunity, and ended up becoming a respected educator, cybersecurity expert, and proud dad. Let me tell you, this guy gets it. We're talking about something that's hitting families everywhere right now, how online predators and criminals want to harm you and are zeroing in on the elderly and our kids using social media and psychological manipulation that's honestly scary in how effective it is. Dr. Kravets shares what he's seeing on the front lines, from fake grandchild scams to TikTok traps and the simple warning signs most people miss until it's too late. Here's the kicker. If you listen through to the end, you'll get practical advice on top ways today for protecting yourself online, as well as your relatives, your loved ones, and your children. You don't want to miss this. It's eye-opening, it's practical, and it could seriously save someone you love. Welcome back to Cybercrime Junkies, where we dig into the real stories behind the clicks, the cons, and the cyber Wild West. So enjoy the ride. Let's dig into it. Look, let's be real. Cybercrime is everywhere. Data breaches are hitting headlines constantly. I started Cybercrime Junkies for two reasons. Because true crime stories are addictive, and because leadership can be learned, and great leaders need to understand cyber today without all the technical jargon. So do us a favor, smash that subscribe button. Join a community that's done with doing things the way they've always been done. So let's get ahead of the threats and become the kind of leaders who actually stop them. These days, being informed isn't optional. This is Cybercrime Junkies, and now the show. All right. Well, welcome everybody to Cybercrime Junkies. I am your host, David Mauro, and in the studio today is Dr. Feliks Kravets, a social engineering expert, teacher, professor, and entrepreneur committed to raising awareness about phishing scams, social engineering threats, and the like. Been in the industry for 25 years or longer. A first-generation American, Dr. Kravets brings a bilingual background and cultural awareness to all of his training programs. He moved to the U.S. back when he was a child from the former USSR. It'll be interesting to get that take. Moved back in the early 90s, and we thank you for all you do. And is it okay if I call you Feliks?
Sure. Thank you for inviting. Great. Feliks, perfect.
Great. Excellent. Well, welcome to the studio. Share with us a little bit about your about the education that you provide, the security awareness training, and your approach to it, and then we'll get into kind of how you got here.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for introduction. Being in education for over 25 years, I noticed various groups of our population need more in being able to better recognize specifically social engineering and phishing scams. I'm sure that corporations have the same need for more structured and more advanced training on the technology side, but each one of us, doesn't matter if you're born in the United States, if you recently came, if you speak English well, if you don't, if you have PhD or GED, doesn't matter, everyone is targeted. Unfortunately, attackers are successful at every level, no matter if we highly educated, if we just finish basic education, if we work in, if we're attorneys, if we're doctors, everyone is a target, from children to seniors and everyone in between. That basically what brought me to an idea to open Cybersecurity Easy project, to being in education, trying to help people be more educated, and it goes along with multiple objectives of many other highly smarter people than I am. So trying to get my help to be team member with multiple agencies and corporations doing this internally and externally. That is what this company is about.
Absolutely. That's great. And it's Cybersecurity Easy, which is, we'll have links to everything in the show notes. And I'll tell you, the approach is really important, isn't it? I mean, simplifying it down, the cybersecurity industry itself uses a lot of acronyms that keep things pretty complex, and it's almost by design. But when you break it down, it's not that complicated, right? And yet so many organizations, so many people are still not aware of what is happening, and yet they're getting online every single day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Very good point. Corporations struggling tremendously, and attackers are coming up with new stuff as we speak. Again, psychologically, I truly believe if I would be president of the United States, I would make it requirement from daycares to all the way to top of the education to have it as a basic requirement, as the same as physical exercise or knowing how to write, how to.
Yeah, we throw devices in kids, and parents throw devices in kids' hands at extremely young ages. And there's generally, there's essentially no cybersecurity education integrated into the curriculum, right, of most schools today.
Yes, sir.
And it's a huge void. I mean, there's a lot of problems with our curriculum, but different people have different opinions on that. But I mean, look, we are in a world today where we're more dependent on the technology in our physical world, right? Like the technology that we use affects our physical world. Think of healthcare and education, etc. And yet we're not really providing ample education for people of what are common threats, what are things to look for, what is a red flag when you see it, what is an anomaly, that type of thing.
Sure. Great point. And I'm looking at our kids, 3.5 years old child went to, got an iPad from school, 3.5 years old,
right.
He was still not potty trained.
3.5 years old, right? And that's what they're doing in schools, right? The iPads are in the very young age groups, and then they move up to the Chromebooks, essentially.
Yeah.
That tends to be a national pattern.
Exactly. Thank you for bringing this up. And like I said, the child was not yet potty trained. He was still in diapers going to school with iPad in his hands. And at the age of 10, we notice our kids know so much on the social media, on using Roblox. This is like Roblox itself has so much outside of it, which attracts so many scammers and children under influence of, YouTube channels running from outside the United States, taking credit cards from parents, sharing their or login credentials. And even that group is highly targeted. And moving forward, if you look about sextortion for teenagers, is another biggest issue with, unfortunately, cases where,
Yeah, and it happens quickly, right? This sextortion that is happening with teenagers, whether it's through social media like Instagram or Facebook, or whether it's, Snapchat, whatever it is, or a lot of it is even originating through some of the games, right? The Fortnites and the Roblox.
Yep.
And here, walk us through how a typical scenario, like the ones I'm familiar with, is the kids playing Fortnite or kids playing Roblox, right? Younger kids are playing Roblox or Minecraft. And because of that, it's free, right? And they're playing it, but they want to buy some premium things, right? They want to improve their power, change the way their character looks, buy some more equipment or whatever it is. And there are legitimate ways to do that, but there are so many illegal ways. And children especially, but even parents don't even know that they're buying something that contains malware or spyware or info stealers or something like that, because the site looks legitimate. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah. Thank you for bringing this up. It's a great, great point. So with Roblox having hundreds of people working in cyber safety, and the website can be fully secured by the children, not just playing, they also want Robux or those currency which parents can pay for, or children are looking at other players who saying, hey, you want those bonuses? Click and follow me. Or you want a free money to buy stuff or to be your Prime member? Click right here and you can get it. And links going somewhere.
All the different skins, all the different stuff, right? Like the different ways the avatars look. Like they want to, there's elements in the game that allow you to earn certain things, but for $5, $3, $10, they can really advance their play. And when they play for hours and hours and hours, weeks after weeks after weeks, and months after months, right? It means a lot to them.
It does.
And
it does.
The problem is the child oftentimes will say, here, mom, here's the site, right? Can you buy this? And they'll either give the child the credit card to type in, or most often even the parent will do it. But the parent doesn't know. The parent isn't playing the game actively, right? And so the site looks real, but they're putting in their credit card information, and a couple of things are at risk, right? One, you're putting credit card information into a rogue site. So now they're going to have your credit card information. They could obviously use that. But more than that, isn't it, is when they download the premium assets, right? When they download the new skins or the new weapons or whatever it is, on the back end of that is a lot of info stealers, malware, things that can record from your camera, things that could listen in, all of this stuff, right?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for bringing this up. So I just want to say, no matter how great and how I secure the Roblox system itself.
I'm not talking about the actual Roblox, right? I'm talking about scammers that are impersonating Roblox to do it. Right?
Exactly. So
good point. I'm glad. Let's clarify that. We're not talking about the games. We're not talking about the legitimate platforms. We're not talking about the cybersecurity on the back end of any of that.
Yes, thank you.
We're talking about criminal element that impersonates those, because they're dealing with children and parents that aren't actively playing those games.
And parents don't.
Great point.
I mean, we're so busy.
No, not at all.
Even at the age of 8 and 10, we have no idea what our children are going through. Like you say, it sounds like a legitimate
It's
game
frightening.
And people playing, but the player can say, hey, you want to review Roblox, click right here. And then they click, and they're going completely outside of this game website to a website which can be hosted in Russia, in Ukraine, in Canada, in India, any place in the whole world, even in the United States. But there is no way to know what way children are going to. And those folks will say, hey, get your credit card. You put right here, or click right here, download this free stuff here. I can get a free Roblox. And children will do. And spyware will be installed on the computer, which can be used by parents or whatever the case is. So there is so many YouTube channels specifically designed to educate children. And I think there is my kids watching, a few folks who specifically talk about scams on Roblox. And if you're a parent and if you not really can stop the train, and, there is no really way to do it nowadays, in many cases, at least, talk to your children, talk and ask, hey, I heard so much scam. Can you please tell me about it? Maybe children should present this topic during the after dinner time, and parents will say, you know what? You explain me 5 scams on Roblox, I will give you $5 to buy Roblox.
Yeah. I love that. I love that idea. Yeah. And it's important too, because we're all so dependent on technology. To some degree, we talk less, we speak less with our families, with everybody, right? Everybody sits down at the table, everybody's got their phones out, etc. And I know there's a lot of initiatives to not do that, but it's still a practical reality for a lot of families. But it's really important, isn't it, that the parents say, if you ever feel uncomfortable, no judgment zone, like come to us, come talk to us. And I think that's really important for parents to do. I mean, there's a lot of advice, especially when it gets into very violent threats of cyberbullying and sextortion for teenagers. It's gruesome. It's very violent, and they're very, very persuasive. Like, they're very good at their jobs. Yeah. And it's sad, and it's really important, and it happens quickly. The stories of the suicides that have happened with sextortion, they happen within 12 hours, like 8 hours. Like, it happens so quick. You need that open door, a true open door of communication, where they're like, no matter what you think you did, no matter what you may have done online, just come to us, talk to us about it. You won't be in trouble. We're actually, the number one job of the parents are to protect those children.
Thank you.
So
thank you for bringing this up. It's a great point. As a parent,
Well, it's a good topic. Like we could talk about cybersecurity and threats and ransomware all day long, but we do that all the time in our day jobs, right? Like we talk about that stuff all the time. This is really important. This stuff here is really
It
important.
is.
And it doesn't get a lot of discussion. There's a few great topics and YouTube channels out there, but not everybody's seen them. So it's important to bring this up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a great point. And as a parent, we tell children, don't do it, don't go online, don't stop playing those games, go to eat, get dressed appropriately, get your phone out.
Go read your biology. Yeah. Don't go play.
Yeah.
Don't go play Roblox.
Exactly.
Like, what's a kid gonna do?
Exactly.
Like, come on.
As a result, children in their minds, they think that Roblox is something that we should like hide from parents or do it when they don't. So instead, I truly believe, and thank you for pointing this, parents should say, hey, can you show me how to play it? So kind of get closer to children, like you say, to build up the trust and say, it's a really cool stuff. Can you show me more about it? Not completely reject it. It's the same with extortion. Children at the age of 12, 14, 16 truly believe they know better than we do. And they will not come to mom and say, hey, what should I do if this, the daughter will not come to father and say, what should I do if this boy said he wants to kiss me in the cheek? Should I say yes or no? She will go to her buddies and other girls to ask those questions. So the same way children will ask other children. For us parents, no matter what we do, and as you mentioned, we're all working crazy hours and we don't always have time, and we trying to be strict, say no technology, no games, or make sure. Instead, like you said, it's a great idea to come back and to say, show me how to do it. I would like to learn more. And what about cyber safety? Can it be scammed? What do you think about it? Maybe kids should present stuff to earn those.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Most business leaders have a fatal flaw which results in their growth being interrupted or stopped terminally. They ignore the mountain they're about to crash into, distracted by the focus on revenue growth. Until it's too late. Don't become another fatal business statistic. Keep your cybersecurity modern so you can grow without interruption. Stay competitive. Get NetGain. Stay focused on your growth and funding. While NetGain keeps your technology always available with expert-level cybersecurity services to stop breaches in their tracks, all at a fraction of the cost of managing it yourself. Don't wait for a technology disaster to interrupt and cripple your growth. Speak with a specialist today. Contact NetGain Technologies today at 844-777-6278 or reach out online at netgainit.com. That's 844-777-6278 and netgainit.com. Grow your business uninterrupted. Contact NetGain today.
I love the idea of like, if a child wants
to teach
a new something, right? They're asking for something. It'd be like, you'll receive that reward. Tell me one way that somebody bad could take advantage of this, and actually get the kids to start to think like, well, I play it safe and I look, but here's what I've heard, right? I've heard about somebody doing this, or I've heard about this, because I'm telling you, they have. I've raised 4 kids. Like, they're a lot more savvy than you realize. Once you stop talking down to them and you ask them open-ended questions, right? And you go, tell me about this. What about this? How does this work? And all of a sudden, all that information comes out and you're like, holy cow, are they aware?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir. And even like at the age of 10, they asking you for $20 Roblox card for birthday. You say, hey,
right. The V-Bucks for Fortnite or whatever it is, right? Yeah.
You earn it. You present topic on cyber safety, how scammers can get children in Roblox, and I will give you 5. And you earn 50 by presenting 10 topics to me and to your mom together and other children listening. Make them go. It's the same like a regular physical scam. If you look at the schools, in many cases, school kind of straightforward say, hey, if the car stop, the adult saying, get in the car, I give you candy, children should run away. And children get it. But if somebody come in the car and say, oh my God, I get a heart attack, please help me, please, I'm dying, the children will run because the same teacher told them to help, So it should not be like straightforward, don't do it, you should not click. It never works. It should be, you have to teach children and make them feel smarter than you are. Make them
Yeah, look, we had we had a massive social experiment in this country back in the 90s with prohibition, right? Just saying, just don't drink. Nobody drank. Like, what did it create? Like, it created organized crime. Like, people want to they're still going to do it. It's human behavior. Might not be good, might not be healthy, but they're still going to do it. So let's live in reality and let's provide guidance and safety within real context, right?
Thank you for bringing this up. It's the same way you can tell children not to connect, not to turn on the camera, not to get a mic, and they might listen, but hey, you go to sleep and you never know. They will go to the computers. They go, like say at the age of 10 today, children know more than most of the parents do. So go to social media, connect with them. Tell them to show you, not say, oh, I'm going to get you if I will know that you're doing this. It's not working, as you saw with liquor, experiments that we had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that didn't work.
You have to say, I've been there too. Let's connect. Let me be on your social media. And hey,
well, you brought up a good point. Yeah, Felix, you brought up a good point, and that is the camera and the headphones, right? The microphones. Being able, I mean, it is part of the gaming experience. It would be great if, as a parent, one could say, go play, but don't chat with anybody, right? And maybe at younger ages, that's easier to do. But as they start to get up, 6, 7, 8 years old, it's really, really tough to do that because that's part of the immersive experience. Their friends are playing. These are online games with communities. They're talking on Discord, right? Yeah. They're communicating back and forth, and they're all getting together. And rather than going to a playground and throwing a ball around, what they're doing is they're gaming together and they're talking during that time. Sometimes they have a camera on, but at least the audio is on. Yeah. And that's sometimes where bad elements enter those games.
Yes, sir.
So there's some best practices on vet or verify who it is that you're letting into your party somehow, right?
Yes, sir. And thank you for bringing this up. It's a highly dangerous because first of all, the downloading spyware on the computer will get access to camera and to mic, even if the child does know about it. Second, impersonalization. They put the criminals put another child and those other adults playing those games, trying to connect. And they basically mirroring, children's interests. How old are you? 8? I'm also 8. Your parents tell you probably not to play, right? Oh, my parents also do it. So they try to get connected, and then they asking to turn on the camera, and they put a child to play those games, and most of them outside from the United States. So we cannot send there, our the police or FBI to grab them in Mexico or in Russia or in Ukraine, and, in any of the countries.
You're not going to be able to find them.
Yeah, so they basically, and we have to, there is no real way to control what children are doing. The only way, like we both agree, to try to, and teaching also not always work. Kids sitting in school all day, the teachers teaching them, telling them, listen to me, I know better than you are. So, and if you come home, you tell children the same thing. Listen to me. I know better. Repeat it and go and make sure you don't do it. It's not working. You want to make sure you become a friend. You become a social media, connection with them on their social media platforms they're using. You maybe open a Roblox account. You ask them to show you 30 minutes, spend 30 minutes, check how they play this. And then little by little, ask them about cyber safety. Say, hey, what if it's a scammer? What if they want your camera? What if they want to listen? Everything that happens in our apartment, in our house, by getting into our microphone. And let's Google how many children get affected. And try to make them and say, hey, go do it and teach me. If you tell your children,
yes,
I don't know, you know better, you are there and I'm here, so you become my teacher. You show me, you present it, and you will get bonuses for this. They will do it. They would like to be smarter. They will make sure to put efforts and to make sure they present it. And tell them, hey, open YouTube profile, put it there for other children. Maybe you will monetize it. You will make, a few dollars there for daily or weekly or monthly for other kids to learn about it. So make them feel that they and tell them what other scams do you think happens. You walk on the street, what can happen? So let's do it. Let's do it together. Like I said, I think the same thing works with seniors. You should do it with your grandparents, and maybe children can teach their grandparents this stuff, because they are biggest target too.
Yeah, absolutely. And really protecting the privacy of the mobile devices, right? Like there's so many different scenarios and things that we've come across where, people don't realize how much these devices, our mobile devices or iPads, track us. They capture things. And I think sometimes, like, the parents may go to work, and at work they may have security awareness training, right? And they think it's just at work. They think, I know how to spot a phishing email if it happens at work, right? Well, it happens everywhere. Like that same tactic of getting somebody to download something or click on something is happening in the gaming environment, right? It's happening in those platforms. Social engineering is happening, as well as it's happening on people's personal emails all the time. I mean, it's really, really common, and they've gotten very, very good at it.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, parents should bring the information they learn at work to the level of household, to explain this to children and to explain to their parents.
And make it part of the conversation, right? Just make it part of the dinner conversation or the lunch conversation, or while you're doing something, while you're shopping, while you're talking. Just ask those questions and raise that awareness.
And like I said, for me personally, I learned that children want to be better. And if you empower them, telling them you research it, you make PowerPoint, or you make video clip, or you present it and make a picture of scammer and show it to us. And, and we will, it will be our training like you had in school. You will be our teacher tonight.
Well, it's empowering them, right? It's letting them, because I don't think anybody learns anything better than when somebody asks you to explain it or to teach it, right? Sure. That's when you really learn it, because all those open questions that you may not know the answers to, you go and find out before you're explaining it to somebody.
Yeah. And I don't want to tell parents play that you don't know, because many parents might not know. I don't know certain things that my kid is teaching me or telling me about Roblox play or other games that he's playing. But working with children and make children talk to your parents, to grandmom and granddad, and explain them, because they are also target, and they might not be aware of voice cloning or AI or phishing phone calls.
Yeah, AI and deepfakes are remarkable, because even from a short clip, you're able to sound like somebody, look like somebody, and it is virtually undetectable by the human eye today.
For sure.
And the other thing that you point out that's a really good point to make here, because our listeners or viewers may not be aware, but there can be an ad in a game, or there could be an ad, maybe not within the platform of the game, but an ad that is advertising, let's say on YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat or wherever. And that ad could be for Roblox or for Fortnite or some popular game, right? But behind that ad, and it could be a great price, and the kids want to buy it, right? But the problem is by clicking on that ad and doing that, there could be malware, and there often is on the back end. Like the platforms don't really do that much protection for families on the back end, right? They just want the ad revenue. So you can create the ad, get people to click, and if they go through the steps, they can capture the payment details from you. But even if it doesn't get there, just clicking can activate info stealers and malware, and turning the camera on, turning the listening devices on, and all of that stuff, right?
Sure. So very good point. Yes, thank you for pointing this. Again, also going that route, our browsers are monitoring what we're searching for. So if the child is typing the game name, next time child goes to Google or to other search engines, the ads will pop up. So they will kind of lead child to that direction. And as you mentioned, the website can be created and hosted outside the United States. There is no really way for, in some cases, and they have hundreds of those websites. So even if you report it to Google or other search engine and they will block it, they will generate dozens of more. And they put video clips, they put video images everywhere. And even if YouTube is, again, bigger company, of course, it's more difficult to make it 100% clean and almost impossible. Even just general search, websites and companies and the hosting can be outside of the US. There is no way to really know how to get them. And they targeting children with credit cards, with, like you mentioned, with spyware installed on the computer, with a key logger. So every key the child or you will click on if you go to chase.com.
Yep.
Well, now they know. You put username and password there. Now they know. You go to
now they've
credit
captured
union or whatever, they're transferring money, place, paying bills. Now they can log in there because they see it. So it can cause so much issues. And if it's a family with people using the same computer device, for multiple reasons, and when you're not there, child might log in. So there's so many other risks there. And the last thing I want to mention that about your cell phone, you mentioned cell phones in our hands of our children from really young age nowadays. And we give them to be safe, and it helps us to track, maybe using GPS devices where they are, and to tell them to call 911, to call you for help if it's needed or have any questions. But again, that comes with playing games there as well, downloading software. So it's a device that offers them access to the whole world, which has some unsecure components. And the same with with grandparents. They also target, and they have a lot of financial resources to be taken or to be stolen. And I believe 3.4 billion, I think FBI reported for last year, stolen using cybercrime from seniors, for people over 60 years old in the United States. I think talking to your children can also, when we talk to your children, talking to your parents as well, and to your associates at work, definitely. Everyone is a target.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that, it's the circle of life, right? Things that we're talking about for children absolutely apply for elderly, right? I mean, senior citizens are definitely targeted just like children. And so what are some of the best practices that we can tell seniors, or we can tell, parents, and when they're out something or somebody comes to them with an ad that looks really good? Like, I've always heard, when you Google something, scroll down, because the sponsored ads right at the top, anybody can do that, right? Like, any cyber criminal can advertise, and it looks like Microsoft Help Desk, or it looks like Roblox, skins available or whatever. And it's not actually from Roblox. It's not actually from Fortnite, right? You actually scroll down until you get to the official site, and you'll be able to see it, because the URL will say, roblox.com, whatever it is, right? Like, it'll actually say the actual platform.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Cybercrime Junkies. Got a question that keeps you up at night, or ever wish you could hear from a specific guest, or have a true cybercrime story you want us to investigate? You can now text our studio directly at 904-867-4466. Don't be a stranger. Text us at 904-867-4466. Don't miss the chance to be part of the conversation. Text us direct at 904-867-4466.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. And the seniors definitely have trust, which many of us are aware of, not to use at the full extent. And talking to grandparents, those zero trust approach that I think everyone in this industry is talking about. Talking to children about zero trust, not trusting until you verify.
Until you verify through a regular channel. Not WhatsApp. No. Not Telegram, like through a regular channel, yes, like you go to the website.
Yes, sir. And we're going to go back to web search, but I just want to say you got a phone call and it sounds like somebody screaming on the back, and voices matching to your children, to the parents, or siblings, or grandparents, or even like a simple stuff. They get text message saying, "Oh, it's your mom. My phone broke, so I'm texting from a different number." So talk to children about it. Explain to your parents about it. So zero trust until you verify. I have spoke with so many smartest people, with an attorney working for over 20 years in the legal industry, being scammed, almost like sending hundreds of $1,000 for scam due to fake phone call from another law firm about, child being arrested. And, there is everybody. You can have, 10 PhDs and be the highly smartest, highly advanced professional in dental industry, per se, but again, those scammers targeting everyone. And as you mentioned, seniors is the biggest target. Many people tell me, oh, my grandparents or my parents don't use computers, they safe. I just want to say about this one too, because many parents tell me my child has only access on a cell phone to phone calls and text messages, no internet. So I think he or she is safe. So it's wrong, because even a phone call.
No, I think that's a great point. So Feliks, that's an excellent point. Not using technology is itself a risk, because then you're not aware of what is being done in your name, right? Online.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of seniors that are like, well, I'm just not going to be involved with technology. And meanwhile, their Social Security benefits are getting rerouted, or a portion of them, because they're not logging in to check. Right. And there's a lot of things that they don't see that you can only see by leveraging technology.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing this up. So I have friends, they saying, oh, my grandparents, they in a nursing home. Okay, so they use cell phone. Why do they really need even? Look, they can call pretend to be from Medicare or Medicaid. Their parents will share Social Security number. And they say, oh, they're not going to buy a house and any mortgage anymore. They're opening credit cards under their names. They're opening the loans, car loans, using their parents' and grandparents' names. So they're not physically, even if you do not use computer. I spoke with folks that their children going to religious schools and said, they don't use internet. We're trying to keep them away from, well, look, text messages. They say, oh, we're only texting. But text messages can have links. It can be scam. That text message can come from the phone number, which is completely fake and spoofing the mom or the dad number, and say, oh, don't pick up the bus today. Go to another side, and it will be our neighbor who will pick you up. Text messages don't make anybody safe. Not talking about links in the text messages. People say, we'd like to send $10 to support somebody's campaign or whatever. And there is one link will say unsubscribe. People say, oh, I hate this stuff. They keep asking for $10, on which side, what doesn't matter which side you're on. But people click unsubscribe, and it's a scammers. By clicking unsubscribe, you tell them line is active, and tomorrow they're going to offer you options to donate money to local shares, retirement foundation, which is complete scam. So they, by clicking or by responding, even if you're saying, or they say type do not call or type unsubscribe and we will never touch you. People send messages back, and basically you get what scammers need. You confirm that it's a valid number, somebody is watching, somebody is listening, and you will continue doing this. They have to the same thing. You have to talk to your parents, to your children. And scams on search engines, definitely URLs. In many cases, before you click, you should have antivirus and anti-malware installed on the computer. Going to website which is set to install software, virus on your computer, or malware, or any type of technology to scam you, will take seconds. By clicking on just URL, you basically let somebody install and do anything that they want to your computer. So you have to be highly careful, especially with grandparents and with your parents, because they lived in a time when it was safer and trust level were much, much higher. And to survive today, you have to, tell them that they have to be very careful. I'll go to senior facilities.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, you had to put yourself in a precarious physical environment in order to reach some of these people. But today, you just literally just get online. I mean, before you had to walk down a dark alley, right? And here you don't have to. You just log on like you normally do.
Yeah. Talk about criminals.
In the point you bring up too is it's so important to freeze credit. Here in the United States, parents need to freeze their credit, and they need to freeze their children's credit.
Thank you.
And the reason is because, like what you just mentioned, is they can take out loans. We've met many, many children that now come of age that are trying to get student loans or trying to get their first car or whatever, and they have a foreclosed condo in Las Vegas. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, they've been using your identity for 10 years because nobody checked. And that type of stuff. They can't do any of that if one's credit is frozen. And it's perfectly free to do that. And we just freeze it on all three of those credit bureaus. So we encourage everybody to do that.
Thank you. Very good point. We don't know. For sure we don't. The people who work in cybersecurity that I know in many cases were scammed and they didn't know. Even so, it's like a doctor who gets sick. Even if you have AMD, it doesn't make
happens all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't make you, unfortunately. So I believe there is a credit karma, which is has a free option just to connect with your credit cards and banking accounts. Most of the banks have options, and most of the credit agencies.
Most major banks can help you do that too.
And if somebody opened cards or
really
loan,
important,
you will be notified. Yeah, it's a great point. And the same with social media. People put so much information nobody is asking for. I was just making one of the videos I will put on our channel on YouTube, which is cybersecurity.com, DOCCOM spelled out, was about these scams. People go to social media as they know when is your birthday is, and they say, oh, congratulations, click right here for the gift card, or say, remember me, we were together, look at this picture, and people click and they download spyware. So everything I don't want to, like we say, when somebody get arrested, people say everything you say will be used against you. I would like to repeat the same thing on whatever you post on a social media will be used against you. So scammers are there.
Right.
Kids don't know about it. Many schools asking us for training specifically for teenagers on social media protection and scams. They put, we're going to Florida tomorrow. They have the address, they have birthdays, they know everything about.
Right. Yeah. Great point. And we were just presenting on this topic last week, and it's exactly right. If people are going to be traveling, don't post on social media of the upcoming trip. Absolutely a terrible decision, right? The key is go take all the pictures you want, enjoy the vacation. And when you return, then if you want to post it, you can post it, right?
Yes, sir.
But the key is you never want to let people know ahead of time where you're going to be. And when you're taking pictures around your home and around your children's school or your elderly, assisted living place, don't take pictures that show the names of those, right? Yeah. All those are good best practices.
Yes, sir. And all information that we share can be used. Like I say, people put first last name on a social media, which is not the best idea. Mm-hmm. You can Google. I would recommend everybody Google yourself. Google your children. And if you have access to their social media profiles, check what they post there. In most of the cases, parents, people who are in the social media with the children know much more better about your children than parents do. We don't know who they are. We don't know if they're pretending to be children or not. We don't know what objectives they have, and if they're trying to do, more harm, if they're collecting data. It's like those stickers, my child going to, San Francisco Elementary School, or they put like images of two parents and a dog and two children, like on the back window of the car. You're following them. There are two children in the car, the dog, parents. What it tells criminals, nobody's at home, Then they come at home, there's a car from the garage, there's a garage opener inside the car. Simple stuff like this. You're going for vacation, take garage opener and put it inside. Don't keep it in a car in the front of your apartment or your house.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Things like this. And the same with technology. Unfortunately, it's even more complicated for people who use technology not to share it. I always telling my clients, Google yourself. Put your first last name in the search, not technically Google, any search engines. Check what people know about you. Or if they can put your first name, find your address, what information brokers sell for $5, you can find for $3 nowadays. All the background check, previous marriages, divorces, properties, lawsuits, tickets, background check.
Anything that's a public record is out there for sure. And then there's a lot of other stuff that you may not be aware.
Yeah, and criminals using this. They come, they call, they pretend to be having this information in place and using this. So you have to explain this to your children as well and to your grandparents. So much scams against everybody, and it's a new world we live in. It should be really advanced degrees, not I want to say degrees, but a lot of courses, offer it to children and all the way to seniors. We do all. We go into schools. We do professional development for faculty, how to teach those topics. And we go to senior facilities and train seniors on different topics, one topic at a time, not to overload anybody, talk about specific. And scammers getting smarter and smarter. If a year ago or 2 years ago, those Nigerian prince who wanted to send you $18 million was a top scam or IRS phone call. Today, they're getting smarter and smarter. And your voice of your CEO, if you're talking about business, or from YouTube. I also learned that many companies now using passwords. So if there's somebody sending phone call, voice message to another team member, they have to specify the password for that week or for that month, because fake voicemails requesting printed documents or transfer money. If you're talking about business, the same with grandparents, voicemail from grandchild who maybe in Florida over the weekend and arrested, wallet stolen. Don't tell my mom, she's going to kill me. Transfer $2,000 to help grandma, please. Bingo, $2,000 going nowhere.
That happens all the time, and it works because it creates amygdala hijack. It creates that biological, neurological condition that we all have that we can't get rid of. Like, it is inherent in us for thousands of years. And it's that we have a woolly mammoth in our village, right? It is that fight or flight. It creates that emotional thing that drives behavior. And so by pausing and recognizing and verifying, right, through a legitimate channel before you take any action, that's really important.
Yeah, and assuming and remembering no matter what you hear, what you see can go wrong. Like you said, websites. Yeah. Go to Wikipedia and check if the company is there. Check what website listed on their webpage. Go to Google and search details about the company that's asking you, or call back, try to find your relatives, try to confirm prior to call to police, call to FBI if it's out of state, but don't just send money. Yep. At least Google, I received a phone call like, what should I do? Use ChatGPT to look for before you jump to conclusions. But you start talking about me being first generation American. I just want to say that immigrants, also people who come to the United States from other countries, they're also biggest target because they don't know.
Yeah, they're targeted. Absolutely. Right.
Things that we don't know. They don't even know things that we know in many cases. So there's ESL or English as second language programs, and the schools offer don't have any of those components about safety that teach people how to speak, how to apply for the job. I used to work in a program that was out of one of those nonprofit agencies helping youth out of jail, that once they were released to kind of recover, people coming and they going back to trying to maybe live safe, and they open credit card and somebody send them scam, and boom, first $500 they earn stolen. And people say, oh my God, what's going on in this world?
Yeah. Welcome to America. Yes. Right? Like, welcome to America. All your very first paycheck, scammers just stole.
Or somebody was incarcerated and came out and tried to earn $1,000, and they scammed them the same way as everyone else. And people don't know, so everyone is a target. As we mentioned before, I truly believe that it's a time for everyone. I believe Sun Microsystems, back to CEO, back to 1999, say that, Scott, I think was his name, he say that, we have no privacy anywhere. So think about privacy. I truly believe that, we should really look into cyber safety, and even certain things when you talk about family members, and privacy definitely is important, but it should not overload your ideas about safety. It should be taken into consideration for sure. And I was always wondering, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and please share your thoughts. We have those chips on the GPS chip for dogs and cats, and I think it's even legally advisable or a requirement for dogs and pets, other pets, to have those chips in the body in many states and counties. And I know the children, I mean, you think about crime against children and missing children, why we don't have a chip in the children? Wouldn't be easier to...
that gets debated a lot.
I don't want to sound Russian.
Look,
and try to involve everybody's privacy. But I mean, really logically.
No, but it's deeper than that. It's interesting. That's a whole other podcast, right? Because that's a really interesting discussion, because think about it. Part of the, our health information, all of our very, very private information about our own bodies, about our own health conditions, right? We're leaving it up to these companies or these rural hospitals or a physician's office, right? And they're not doing a lot of the cybersecurity to protect our data. It would be nice if we could own the data, like we have it, and then we just share it with the people who need it, and then we revoke it after they get what they needed, right? But we're the keepers of it. And that goes along with like a chip or something like that.
And I believe
there's a lot of debate around that, and I think right? And there's religious concerns, etc. And I understand it, but there's a very practical element to it, right? Yes, I mean, my animals are chipped, so I could find them. It'd be nice to be able to find my kids, right? Yes, or kids that run away or whatever, right? Yeah. It's pretty
and
good.
Maybe there's a certain age where we should stop and give children privacy, but until that age, the age of
right, 10, and then they can take control of it.
What kind of privacy your child would, and I think even Musk, one of his projects were related to chips in the body, and eventually it will come one way or another, either we'll like it or not. It's like, instead of carrying the wallet with 15 credit cards, if there is something small, can be somewhere, and I believe it might be even less in terms of criminals. And if there is nothing to take from us, and hopefully they will not cut cheap with a piece of the body, but it might also prevent. I know many businesses going out of cash and try to be like only credit card, but with a scan, with those wireless scans, and definitely, and hopefully that might also bring some additional security. From another side, I don't know, if this information is stolen, if somebody stole the copy of the chip, I know there's RFID crime with your wallet.
That's the challenge, right?
Yeah, if somebody's standing behind me in line, in this the coffee shop, and they have RFID.
Right, and they're able to scan your credit card. They could scan you.
What if I have a chip and they scan my chip with all medical information and with everything? So it should be kind of second layer of identification differently, but we're getting there. I saw one of the countries, they have a chip in the car plate, and the police basically don't stop your car for speeding. They just send you a message that appears on your board saying your $1,000 deposit in the city was deducted for like $500. So they people don't even stop the cars; they scan it and they deduct.
Well, that's good for officer safety too.
Yeah. Right? Like if I don't want to say that we should pay $10,000 deposit, but for speeding, it might be maybe it will prevent them from speeding. But yeah,
that's excellent. Hey, Feliks, phenomenal conversation. I could talk to you for hours, sir. That was really, really good. All of your links will be in the show notes. You have some children's books out there on cyber safety. We will have links to all of this. I encourage everybody to check out your YouTube channel and check out your information, your security awareness, and those children's books.
Thank you. I will send it to you.
We thank you so much for your time today.
It was a great conversation. Thank you.
Really good conversation.
Thank you so much for participation. I had a podcast before, and person just asked me one question, and it was like no other question. So I was basically talking for like
those are boring. Yeah, we don't want those. We want to keep the conversation going. I could have talked to you for a long time, but unfortunately I've got a meeting coming up. So, but hey, buddy, thank you so much. This won't be the last time that we talk. There's always stuff to go over, and I really look forward to speaking with you further in the future.
So I will
keep up the great work.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
And David, hey, if I can.
Well, that wraps this up. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our episode. The next one is coming right up. We appreciate you making this an award-winning podcast and downloading on Apple and Spotify and subscribing to our YouTube channel. This is Cybercrime Junkies, and we thank you for watching.